I'm Davide. I'm a PM in the Azure SQL database team, and I focus on developer and AI. And I'm here to share with you what we have been hearing from our leaders and share the strategies for getting AI ready. In this session, we'll share what this means for your data and application workload. We'll cover how Azure can address a changing market landscape and can help overcome challenges like improving agility and performance and scale, ensuring data is getting in the hands of the right teams when they need it to deliver business insights, and lastly, how we can ensure security all across. First, let's take a look at how we can ensure you can achieve the agility and the performance you need to support these workloads. There are two paths to follow. Migration focuses on moving workload as is to infrastructure as a service, updating the application stack and ensuring security, resilience, and scalability. This method is driven by expiring contracts, security threats, and the need to shift from CAPEX to OPEX models. Modernization involves transforming applications, data, and infrastructure to take advantage of platform as a service and software as a service offerings. This approach drives productivity, cost optimization, and business insights by enabling application innovation, reducing resources, and enhancing data application with AI. By understanding these drivers and approaches, organizations can make informed decisions on how to best utilize Azure for their specific needs. Azure SQL is a family of fully managed, secure, and intelligent SQL database services. Azure offers the widest range of deployment options for a SQL. Azure SQL is built upon the same SQL Server engine, so you can migrate applications with ease and continue to use the tools, languages, and resources you're familiar with. Your skills and experience can transfer to the cloud, so you can do even more with what you already have. The services with Azure SQL supports a variety of scenarios. Let's start with the first one. SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine to migrate via lift and shift your SQL workloads with ease and maintain 100% SQL Server compatibility and operating system level access. Azure SQL Managed Instance is used to modernize your SQL Server application, removing the need to maintain the underlying operating system and infrastructure. Azure SQL Database allows to focus on database only, with an intelligent, managed service that includes serverless compute and multi-tiered cached architecture to support any workload. For hybrid and multi-cloud environments, there is Azure Arc, which extends Azure governance, security, and management services to SQL environments, no matter where they are deployed, delivering a consistent and unified experience. And no matter where you are deploying your SQL, Intel is there to help optimize performance and security. For on-premises SQL workloads, customers can easily configure QAT, which saves time, space, and cost by seamlessly offloading compute-intensive workloads. For customers who migrate to infrastructure as a service environment, customers can choose the latest Intel 5th generation Xeon processor. Tailored for compute-intensive tasks and perfect for high-performance data processing, complex operation, and intensive analytics, delivering excellent performance and efficiency. Then, when you're ready to modernize to Azure SQL Managed Instance, which runs on Intel 4th generation Xeon processor, you can be confident that they are getting the highest performance and security for your SQL workloads. The SQL family of products allows you to have a high performance with a better TCO, as all the existing tools, skill, libraries, and frameworks will work seamlessly with Azure SQL. Developers can be productive right away. High availability and disaster recovery are also much easier when done in Azure, as the heavy lifting is already done by the Azure infrastructure. You can have the peace of mind of a resilient architecture without the complexity that usually comes with it. Security, which is a key topic in today's complex world, is taken care for you already, making sure that you always have the latest updates with the minimum friction. All security aspects, from encryption to auditing and tamper-proof options, are just one click away, easy to set up and configure, so your data is always protected and safe. When it comes to modernization, Azure SQL is the perfect support to help your developers to use the latest and greatest technologies, no matter where they are. From auto-scaling to read-scale-out, from making data available via GraphQL and REST endpoint to JSON and vectors, Azure SQL helps developers to take advantage of the latest and greatest innovation with minimal disruption, allowing your solution to be modernized efficiently and be ready for the AI era with ease. Now, data goes with application, so let me introduce you Michael to explain application modernization.
Thank you, David.
Michael.
Michael here from the developer division, working on all of the past solutions under the now new core AI team. So for more than 30 years, organizations have been trusting Windows servers as the foundation of their IT infrastructure that helps their business run reliably and securely. Now, as we just released the Windows Server 2025, we're continually to innovate in ways that helps organizations, whether they choose to run on premises, in hybrid, multi-cloud environments, or entirely on Azure. Features like hot patching basically helps you mitigate security issues with fewer reboots. And of course, we have options for our Windows Server customers to move to the cloud by using familiar tools and skill sets as well, like our Azure VMware solutions, or just simply lifting and shifting the cloud by using Azure VMs to enjoy the benefits brought you by Azure Hybrid Benefit. And what's more, we know a lot of the customers don't stop there. They don't want to just stop at lift and shift approach when they can move to the cloud. So we want to also emphasize that Azure offers powerful ways to customers to modernize no matter what their starting point is. One such way is to replatform the application to Azure App Service, which you can enjoy even more benefits by offloading the operational overhead, bringing AI capabilities, and reduce risks of downtime where we have you covered. Our platform is designed to be secure by default, which protects you from any outside attacks with automatic patching, updates with security features enabled, and you can also stay focused on your application and business logic. And when you start your app modernization journey in Azure, you might wonder, what's the best starting point? Well, we provide you with the most complete suite of tools that bring you the application from code to cloud, where we offer you any language such as .NET, Java, Python, JavaScript, or even Go to run on any platform, regardless if it's Windows Server or if it's Linux, and can accept any form of your applications. It can be source code upload, it can be applications itself, or even containers. With the dedicated IDE we offer you, such as Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, the tools including GitHub or Azure DevOps, and the cloud tools, you can modernize the application relatively easily with easy-to-use deployment slots to configure production environment, staging environment, or development environments, and pair up with the tools that you like to use. A recent study by GigaOM found that it is more profitable to deliver new products and higher value customer experiences by using Azure PaaS Platform as a Service solutions, comparing to do it all by yourself on premises. Organizations gain up to 56% savings compared to on-premises infrastructure, and up to 30% on fully managed database services compared to an on-premises solutions. Azure App Service, especially, is suitable for those who are running Windows Server-based applications, which will offer you the best experience and cost-saving programs. When it comes to actually moving your application, we have several tools available. The Azure Migrate tool is the flagship migration solution, which helps a holistic assessment of your servers and app estate to provide a comprehensive cloud readiness report. The Azure Migrate Application and Code Assessment tool, which we also call it AppCat, is designed for developers and integrated with popular IDEs such as Visual Studio. It is useful, especially when you have access to the .NET and Java source code and binaries, where you wanted to replatform your application into a more granular assessment of code changes that requires to run the application in the cloud. With the latest GitHub Copilot chat integration, further helps you developers and the app owners of any skill level to use the conversational approach to plan their application modernization using their tool, and which you can get the guidances directly and recommended next steps to prompt to you directly for you to easily update the application to Azure to be Azure ready. The Azure App Service Migration Assistant is a tool that helps you move applications with a genie-like experience which scans your app running on IIS and point to Azure to deploy. In addition to our first-party tooling, we also work with several third-party partners to offer solutions to help the migration. Let me show you quickly on how Azure Migrate Application and Code Assessment works in live demo. And then I'm also using Azure App Service Migration Assistant to move an IIS app from my machine to Azure quickly. First thing that you need to do is to go to aka.ms/appcat to review the documentation and also to choose the components that fits your need, regardless that's for Java or for .NET. And then I will move to Visual Studio. So this is my dev shop application that is working currently. And once you installed the AppCat tool in Visual Studio, all you need to do is to right-click and then choose Replatform to Azure. And it'll prompt you with a report to give you the assessment. So let me do new reports. And since the application is written in .NET, so I wanted to run on App Service Windows, which makes the most sense and also the most cost-effective. So once you choose Windows App Service, then you can click Next. And as well, we also got other options like Container Apps or AKS to suit your need. Now, when you click next, you will scan your application and code. And then next, you will choose to either scan your source code or the binary dependencies. So in this case, I only want to check on my source code. So I wanted to do an analyze. So once you do the analyze, then you will start looking at all of the end-to-end views of how everything is working. So we help you sort everything out by severity. Now, first one is mandatory. These are the things that you definitely need to change to make it work on Azure. And then the second one is optional, which there's a bunch of the optional changes that we will urge you to strongly consider, which will make your application run smoother, safer, and better. Finally, there are some potential and some informational stuff that you can also take a look at. And when you navigate to the aggregated issues, you can see that AppCat have found 3 issues here, like SQL database connection string detected, static content, or even hard-coded sensitive data detected. In this case, I wanted to check on this one to see what are the security things that I can mitigate. I can also check on Ask Copilot to see what is going on with my code and what is the recommendation for it to change. So in the whole assessment, it'll run through everything that you have written in your code and provide you with step-by-step guides or the specific guidances so that it'll be easier for you to start moving your stuff onto Azure. Now, in this security resolution, it basically found that there are some hard-coded admin passwords in here, and it recommends you to use Azure Key Vault or to use application to change configurations in there to update the config file, and then eventually use app configuration as an optional step. And I can even say, how can I use Key Vault for this? And then it'll basically prompt you with the specific steps of how Key Vault is working and also what are the things that you need to do to basically add, for example, start up in .cs file and then add the specific things in your code, and then also some of the additional steps to modify the specific things. Now you have your code ready, and you can just copy that and you can just apply that directly to your code. So that's how AppCat works for the assessment, and also how the GitHub Copilot integration helps you navigate through everything that you need to do for your change and also for your update. Now I'm going to show you how this specific DevShop application is running. So I have it running on my machine, which is already on a local machine, the Michael machine, that is my machine. I have it on binding with the 80 port, which is HTTP. Azure App Service Migration Assistant is super helpful and also handy is that you can just download the specific application there. So in the documentation page that we offer you, there is a specific download the tools that just lead you directly to the download page. And once you download that, you will have something looking like this. You have this specific MSI that is a Windows installer that you can use it right away. And then you can also just open the tool itself. So we have baked all of the PowerShell scripts in the tool for you. So you don't have to do anything. Or you can also use the PowerShell scripts that we have written here for you. So now let's look at this. This is the application that you wanted to basically run. So once you start getting the application running in here, you can then choose a specific area to start. So I have this application that's running, the DevShop. So it found one specific site in here. And then we wanted to allow the logging for the telemetry so that we can then use it in Azure Migrate portal. So you can just click next, and then it'll start assessing your site and check on everything that needs to be changed or any errors or anything that needs to look at. There is a configuration things that needs to do, and then it'll check also all of the rest of the stuff, like for example, the different certificates, the protocols, the TCP ports, the filters and whatnot. And then when you hit next, it'll ask you to log on to Azure. So I will log on to Azure right here, which I could choose my cloud directly and yes, and then I can just copy this specific code, and then I can then be prompted to log on to my specific Azure subscription to then finish the next steps. So because of the time that we've already done this before, let me just show you how that will look like. So once you log on, then it'll basically tell you the specific things that you need to do to be able to actually have those information connected to your Azure. And then you'll try to connect via the App Service Migration Assistant and then say yes. Then you will connect everything onto Azure. Okay, so now you have connected. Once you've connected successfully, then the tool will prompt you the next steps of like choosing the subscription and then to send your specific migration information to it. And then you can create a specific resource group. You can create the destination site name. You can then choose a region that you wanted to host your site and then hit migrate. And then you'll be ready for it to go. And that's how easy it is. And once that's been done, then you will see on the Azure Migrate portal of the application that's been discovered, and then the specific information that it has detected the specific IIS server on the newer version of Windows Server, and how much of the memory that it's using, what is the specific application, and then you can just hit migrate. Then the application will just migrate directly to your Azure. That's how easy it is to use the tool, that basically you don't have to do anything, but other than just fill out the specific information that you need and also the specific subscription information for that application and click next, migrate, then you're done. Then you have your application up and running. So that's how everything is in here. So just like what I mentioned before, I've already hosted this application. Now you can see it's already on app service, which is azurewebsites.net. And the dev shop demo application is already up and running. So that's how easy it is for you to just basically click next using the tool. And then you will be able to have your application linked to your Azure subscription running already in Azure. Thank you very much for your time for watching the demo. And we hope you find these tools helpful. And please try those tools when you can, and also give us feedback.
Thank you, Michael. That was fantastic. Now, let's talk about how Azure SQL can help you unlock the full potential of your data and AI so you can uncover meaningful business insights and power the next generation of application. Today, we run over 30 million customer platform as a service SQL databases in Azure. And these databases provides developers with highly reliable and secure platform for building application. When it comes to AI application, we offer a choice. Either we utilize AI-specific data platform, which can require data to leave the boundaries of a database, or bring AI directly into the database. We strongly believe that databases are the best place to store your data, so we are embedding AI right into every SQL offering. With Azure SQL, you can use any language and any platform to build modern solutions with AI infused in it. You can generate embeddings for building applications that take advantage of retrieval augmented generation to be more friendly to their users. You can store and query vectors embeddings to provide semantic search capabilities. And you can call language model via REST API to create chat with your own data solution right in database. Let me show you. I just finished migrating my SQL Server to the cloud, and now I want to start to take advantage of Azure SQL to use the latest and greatest features, including AI, to modernize and innovate my application. My application is a catalog application and allows customers to search for their best product in all my catalog. For example, I can search for Xbox, and a full text search will be done here so that the best product will be searched across description, category, and product name. Of course, with AI, I could change the application so that now customer can actually use a natural language to tell me what they want. And ideally, I would love to be able to make this more natural kind of searching across my product an option. So what I need to do in order to modernize and innovate my application is, thanks to the fact that I'm on SQL, just change my storage procedure that is using a regular like predicate or a full text predicate here to a vector search. And to do that, the only thing I need to do is get the embeddings for the text being searched. And thanks to the integration with OpenAI, I can easily get the embedding from OpenAI into Azure SQL. I'm using SP invoke external REST endpoint here, so that I can transform any text into a vector, and then using vector distance, I can find the most similar products to the concept that has been searched for by the users. And the only thing I need to do is update my storage procedure. So let me do that real quick. And now that the storage procedure has been updated, I can go back to my test, and what before was not returning any result, now it will most likely return some great product that would fit this requirement. Find the product for a teenage boy passionate about video games. Here we go. We have a PlayStation Ride video game, we have Exerbert, and here all the description and the category, and as you can see, I can search also by category, but also using vector search and do similarity search. So everything nicely is applied together, and I can have the best of both worlds, regular search and semantic search. Now, there is something even better I can do, because as you can see here, I'm asking some products that are passionate for teenage boy, but maybe not all the products here are great for a teenage boy. And also, I would like to understand maybe why this product has been recommended to me. So what I need to do is move to the next level, and so move from modernization to innovation, and bring LLMs to my data. So I can, again, just update my storage procedure. And this time I'm still getting the embedding and the vector from OpenAI. But once I am done searching for the products, instead of just returning the result, what I'm doing is sending the data to a language model that is able to understand the context of the question, the applicability of the provided products, and then return the correct answer. And to do that, I created another storage procedure called generate answer that here is defining how the LLM should behave, so explaining to the AI model what it should do for me. And then I am, again, just calling the AI model, passing the results obtained via vector search with the prompt that I just shown, so that you can have a natural language answer with the explanation of why some product has been returned. So let me update the storage procedure to run this code now. And now I can go back to my test, execute again the same storage procedure for searching across my products. And now it will take a little bit more time, because in addition to do vector search, we also need to send the data to the LLM, and the LLM needs to process the data and come back with the result. But the result will be much better, with more details and even explanation on why the product has been returned to me. So the best product to satisfy this answer is within the product I have in my database, the Sony Ride video game. Why? Because this is the short description generated by AI. So this is Gen AI at work, is ride the best bikes in the world, which seems to be appropriate for a teenage boy passionate for video games. And these are the reason why that game has been returned. So this video game offers a thrilling experience with customized bikes and various tracks, perfect for a teenage boy passionate about gaming. So as you have seen, I moved from just migrating the application, lift and shift, and then I started using storage procedure, new storage procedure like invoke external REST endpoint, OpenAI integration, even call an AI model, so that I can have a much richer search experience. Now, the next step is how do I help my application to innovate and modernize by adopting a more cloud-friendly architecture, for example, a microservice architecture. So one of the way I would do that is create a service that exposes the storage procedure as a REST and GraphQL endpoint, but it typically would require a lot of time and a lot of effort. Luckily for me, we have created, in Azure, you have something called Data API Builder that can be easily set up so that this storage procedure that you are seeing here is available as a REST endpoint with just one simple configuration. So all you need to do is configure this configuration file, and then you can just do dub start, and what is going to happen is that this storage procedure is going to be available as a REST and GraphQL endpoint, which means I can create an application using any language, any framework, any operating system that can communicate with my database just using, in this case, GraphQL. So all the interaction between my application and database is done using a regular HTTP protocol and just a regular fetch clause, since I'm using JavaScript here. So creating my application is super easy, because I can just focus on the business value for my application, and then I have my application here, so products for, and let's see what happened. And behind the scene, what is going to happen is that my application is running, is performing the search, And as soon as the search is done, I will see the result here. And I didn't have to do anything. I just had to expose my storage procedure as a graphical endpoint, and Data API Builder did everything for me. So this is how you can migrate, modernize, and innovate in Azure thanks to Azure SQL.
Well, that's a really cool demo. Thank you, David. Now that we have shown you how to move your applications and also how data modernization is a critical part of the migration journey, let's also address one of the key elements in the successful digital transformation: security. According to a recent study by Station X, up to 80% of companies were affected by cloud security incidents in 2024. Microsoft has been at the forefront of collecting threat intelligence needed to protect customers' cloud workloads, and also Microsoft Defender for Cloud is at the center of that defense against the cloud threats. Built natively into the Azure portal experience, Microsoft Defender for Cloud offers comprehensive security for cloud-native applications with real-time detection, vulnerability scanning, and proactive risk management. We provide protection for Azure resources across on-premises, hybrid, and multi-cloud environments, including database, storage, and service layers. With full visibility into your infrastructure, we help your team identify and mitigate risks early, ensuring compliance and preventing breaches. Defender for Cloud also reduces threat mitigation time by 30%, thanks to prioritizing alerts and integrated incident investigation experience as noted by Forrester Research. Since we've just discussed data modernization, let's focus on the unique value Defender for Cloud offers for databases. Integrated with Azure Defender for Cloud, centralizes platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and hybrid databases securely, protecting SQL, open source relational databases, and Azure Cosmos DB with one-click enablement and centralized management. It simplifies vulnerability management, continuously reducing risks across platforms with advanced threat intelligence and Gen AI. It detects attacks with greater accuracy in real time. Additionally, it offers automatic responses and investigation capabilities, seamlessly integrating with Microsoft Sentinel and Defender XDR. We start with the right tool for the job. Microsoft's secure software development solution with the shift-left approach gives solutions for developers and security managers to develop applications securely and without sacrificing speed. Developer-first tooling and AI-assisted remediation within GitHub Advanced Security helps developers stay within their workflow to understand and also to remediate vulnerabilities quickly before they reach production. Azure Container Registry helps them store and manage the most up-to-date container image, and we can later validate and sign with the secure policy. Defender for Cloud connects to DevOps tools and pipelines to give security managers visibility and code to cloud context, which is valid and also vital for them to bring their expertise into the room for the developers. Enabling your AI innovations with our past platform offerings couldn't be easier. We recommend you to try our migration tooling, such as AppCat, to kickstart the migration flow and t-shirt-sizing your work needed to be done. Identify the AI use case for your apps to connect to the right AI services or the models that you have. Start the refactoring with AppCat and GitHub Copilot integration to get the codes to be updated, integrating with your DevOps lifecycle with the tooling and platform services that we offer. And voila, you're done. One thing I like to mention is to ensure you skill your team with plans on Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn plans provide structural learning to help you modernize applications and prepare for AI readiness. Start learning today and take the challenge using the link on the screen. Now, to accelerate your modernization projects, I encourage you to leverage Microsoft programs designed to help you at every stage of the journey. From planning and execution to scaling and optimization, we're here to partner with you. To learn more, scan the QR code on the screen. It's your gateway to additional resources, expert guidances, and tailored programs to help you succeed. Thank you very much.